Okay, now we're going to walk through a scenario where you have samples, and you can take samples to order. So in this case, you go request samples. You'd select the customer. Let's say it's a 612 Automotive. I'm going to order the, say I want to get the 18500. They want Royal. They aren't sure about sizing, so they're going to get a medium, a large, extra large, and a double. And we're going to give them a S&S. Now, if I wanted to add another product, I would do that here. I have up to 3 opportunities to order samples. If you need more than that, you just have to do another sample request. In this case, we're just going to do the one. If I want to put in notes to myself or to anybody else, I can do that here. Like if I want to put a note about when the customers come pick up the samples or whatever, or when I can expect the order, whatever notes I want to add to the sample request, I can do that here. In this case, I'm not going to add any notes. At that point, it shows up on purchasing. It says samples to be purchased. When they're ordered, I'll see an arrival date. But since they're not ordered, I won't say that. But on the dashboard, what you'll be looking at, that's purchasing. You won't be looking at that really. You'll be looking at purchasing, and you'll see samples requested, and you can get the update. Have they been ordered? When are they expected to arrive? Actually, the date they arrive, arrival date expected, and the actual arrival date. Okay, so actually what this is actually the 3 different vendors. So if you had 3 vendors you'd used, it would tell you here the arrival date of each one of them. But I didn't put the right text here. I'll have to fix that. So let's just jump over here real quick and purchase those so you can see what happens. So it shows up here for samples to be ordered. There's no work order number because it's just samples. Your notes would be here, but Ann says, okay, they're coming in. I ordered them today. I expect them to be here tomorrow. And product 2, same thing. Product 3, same thing. They've all been ordered. In this case, there's only one. I hit update. Now it doesn't disappear because we want the samples to kind of be on notice for everyone. So let's say that, well, if we jump back over to the dashboard now, it updates on your board that says that yes, they've been ordered, and we're expecting them to arrive on this day. So you can kind of keep a pulse on that. So then they get to Crying Ryan Willoughby. And right here we got samples to receive. He's expecting them today, so he's looking for them. He does in fact receive them, and he clicks received. All received. He might have some he receives today, and then some are coming in tomorrow from a different vendor. So until they're all received, it won't say, he'll check all received. Hit update, and it falls off his board because it's been received. And yeah, that brings to my remembrance why it doesn't fall off Ann's, because she's the one that's going to reconcile. So you see on Ann's that it's been ordered, it's been received, but it's not been reconciled yet. So on your board, you're keeping an eye on that, and you say, yep, okay, they've been received. Now you know they're there, and you can, you know, bring them to the customer or notify the customer or whatever the case may be. But right here it says they've been received, so you know right away that they have been received. And let's say it comes along where they place the order, and you send an email to a note to Ann. You can do that via email, but ideally you do it on the message board here. Hit send messages. all 4 samples for 612 will be used with the order. They are on your desk. And you would send that to Ann and hit submit. So that shows up on her dashboard as a message. Now, one thing I missed, I'm going through this a little quickly, so I missed that. Ann, when she places the order, she would actually have put in sample cost. So at that point, she'd say put in $45 because that's what the samples cost. Okay. Then she gets that email. She verifies that all 4 of them are there, and you are using all 4 of them. She'll reduce that work order that you submit by that amount, and we'll show how to do that in a second. But kind of going a little bit out of order. But she would go, okay, sample cost return 0. She's not returning any of them. Sample cost used, all of them. Okay, it would show up as 0 because you used all of them. So now in the case of Kim, she would see samples to be reconciled, and okay, they've been received, but they have not been reconciled. Actually, in my haste, I forgot to do one piece from Ann as well. Samples to be purchased. She would say they have been reconciled, because you can see here they have been. So she should hit update. So then it would fall off her board. But it doesn't fall off over here because Kim needs to verify. So she sees they've been ordered, they've been received, they've been reconciled, but the ledger has been updated. So she would go to that, and she would see that the cost to the rep is 0. So there's nothing to update. If there was, she would update the ledger, and either way, she clicks ledger update, and she clicked that, and it falls off her board. All right, so that's how the samples get updated, and reconciled. But in your case, if you're starting an order, you would do everything exactly like you normally would, except when you hit submit new order, not artwork. When you submit order, you would say use samples with order. Actually, this is where you would instruct Ann. You wouldn't send a message. That's my bad. You wouldn't send a message via company message. You would, right here, you would see sample use instructions for purchasing and receiving. You would put it right here. And then she would see that, and it would be up to her. You would update, you would attach your work order and your purchase order exactly like you normally would, and it will be up to Ann to get those samples wherever you told her they are, verify they're there, reduce the purchase order by that many, and order the correct amount. So that would be on her to do that. But as far as for your part, that's all there is to it. Nothing changes other than you're clicking use samples with order. So when you submit an order, let me show you what happens on Ann's side, just real quick. I'm just going to put in some random stuff here. Submit order, okay, new order. I'm not going to fill all that in. All I'm going to do is just say, okay, yeah, you're using samples with order. Now what happens is, on the purchasing side, it doesn't show up on new orders to purchase. It shows up on new orders using samples. So she's immediately alerted that there's samples that should be used with this order.